Hi, I'm Darlene.
And I'm Marty.
We had a special request from one of our subscribers.
We're going to talk about obtaining a rental, both long-term and short-term, in Puerto Morelos.
So who wants to check this information out with us today? Woohoo!
I guess the first thing you have to consider is what it is you need or what you want.
So your needs are, the deal breakers. So number one would be your budget. Figure out how much you can spend a month. If you're doing a short-term rental, utilities are included usually. If you're doing a longer term, like a month to 6 months or more, utilities can often be extra. So don't forget to account for that. And paying utility bills is no big deal down there. You just take them to the OXXO store and pay them there.
Another thing to consider is area and location. Do you want to be close to the beach? Do you want to be close to the nightlife? Or would you like to be a little further away and have a quieter night's sleep?
And a more authentic Mexican style of living. The next one would be, how much room do you need? How many bedrooms and bathrooms do you need? We prefer having a larger space so that family and friends can come and stay comfortably.
And of course, you got to decide, what kind of accommodation do you want? Do you want a hotel style bachelor pad, or a house perhaps, or something in between, a condo or an apartment?
So we stayed in Puerto Morelos. Our specific needs were minimum of 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a pool, Wi-Fi, air conditioning. Those were our must-haves. We knew that our budget would go further if we stayed in La Colonia on the town side rather than the beach or the touristy side. So for us, having a pool was essential. And most of the gated complexes have security and amenities like a pool. So that's why we pick out the gated complexes.
We both enjoy the quiet nights. It's very seldom that there's any noise. You might, during family celebrations, there might be a party down the street or something like that. But it's not the every night loud music that you might encounter closer to the beach.
Just everyday living. Now, what are your wants? You can't assume that the places you rent are going to come with everything, all the luxuries and everything that you have back at home. For example, I was reading one ad where it said hot water in the bathroom. That means there's no hot water in the kitchen. So if you're going to be cooking, do you need to have a stove, or is a microwave going to be good enough? Do you need a full-size fridge, or is a little bar-size fridge going to be enough? Do you need to have air conditioning? If you're staying in a gated complex, are you looking for a pool and amenities like that?
Those questions are pretty important when you think about it. If you're down there for months, you may want to really think about what you're getting into. Another thing, you should be prepared to go shopping once you arrive. We found we had to buy a few things to make the rental more comfortable for our needs. Little things like kitchen tools, tea towels, pillowcases, things that really don't cost that much and will make your stay quite a bit more comfortable.
I think the other thing you learn is, if you're just down for a few weeks a month, you can do without a lot. But if you're down there for, for the winter, for 5 or 6 months, if the sheets aren't great, just go buy them. Leave them behind for the next guest. It's no big deal. Make it comfortable for you.
Nothing else, get yourself a good knife. That's my suggestion. I do a fair bit of cooking, and I find that often the knives that you find in the drawers of some places are just not good enough to slice tomatoes, for example. So
I think that's the one thing everyone said. We never get sharp knives. Okay, so where are you going to find these rentals? There's several different avenues to go through. You could go through Airbnb, VRBO. So these are safe sites to go through. You're pretty protected from scams and things like that. However, you do pay a premium. They have cleaning fees and booking fees, and they can be a little bit pricey. Another good website is vacationhomerents.com. This is a website that checks a whole bunch of other websites like Airbnb, VRBO, Booking.com, Expedia, Trivago, and they find the best price. So in that case, what I would do is use that website, find your best price, but then book directly with whatever website had the best price. For example, if they found a unit on Booking.com through that website, I would go directly to Booking.com and book it through them. Cut out that extra middleman again.
if you're interested, I would suggest having a look at various web pages. Facebook, for example, you can find lots of group sites very specific to rentals and more general information in the area. And you'll actually find quite a few leads that way. I believe that's how we found some of our best accommodation deals is through Facebook. Just be aware that there's a lot of scammy stuff floating around in that area, and I would suggest rather strongly that you be very careful when you think about sending deposits and that sort of thing to people you haven't met or strangers, for want of a better word. It could get a little dicey. Another tip is don't state your budget. I'm sure everybody will have a budget in mind, but you'll find that if you say my budget is $1,500, that everybody you talk to is going to start at $1,500. So leave yourself a little bargaining room. So there are other ways that you can connect with different people to find your rental. You can connect with local property managers. Some of the good ones in Puerto Morelos are JJ Properties. They have a lot of rentals. Point Two Homes is another company that's got a very good reputation. It's Real Estate Solutions. They have a website you can go to and look at their rentals, and you can contact them directly. So the first time we rented in Puerto Morelos, we actually booked through VRBO for a month, and we stayed at El Faro, and it was great. Once we got down there, we realized that there was cheaper units out there and different ways to go about finding them. So Marty actually joined the Facebook group pages, and he was the one that found our next place in Palma Real. It was a much bigger place at a better price. We really enjoyed that. And then he also found our place for the following winter through the Facebook group pages, and it ended up being an even nicer place for less money. So joining the different groups was, for us, a really great way to find a place. At the risk of being repetitive, we felt pretty safe with the VRBO to start with, but once we were there, we had opportunities to go and look at places, check them out, talk to the people that owned them or rented them or managed them. Meet with the property managers. So it became, there was a higher level of comfort when you actually turn that cash over or write that check. Hit that like button, and if you'd like to help us grow our channel, please subscribe. If you're there, take the opportunity just to walk around the town. You may come across signs that say "Se renta," which means for rent, and just call the number or even walk up and talk to the people that live there. You might find a very good opportunity that way. You can also talk to locals when you're there, or if you have friends that are already staying there, talk to them. Maybe they have a property manager's name that they can pass on to you, or they've seen a Se renta sign.
Check out our channel for the video tours of the different places we've stayed at.
I know this video might be a little bit dry for you, just giving out information, but I hope it was informative, and I hope some of this information was helpful to you. Keep those likes and comments coming, and thanks for hanging out with us today.
Mucho gracias.